Hey friends, I'm Natasha, founder of Never Lunch on a Friday podcast. How are you? I hope you're having a great week. I am thinking about all of you. It is March here in Vancouver and it's raining. It's gross. It's easy to feel depressed. Q1 across the board has been crazy, weird, slow, weird start to the year for all of us. And I just want to let you know I'm here for it. I'm here to support. I'm here to encourage you. I'm here to believe in you, to cheerlead. Every cell in my body knows you've got this. We might need to get a little more scrappy when times feel tough, but I know you can do it. You've gotten this far, you can get through this too. My partner said to me the other day when he was watching my replay of my podcast, he said, "You look so angry." He's like, "You look so mad." He's like, "You got to smile a little bit more." He said to me, he's like, "You look scary." So I was like, okay, so this podcast, I'm going to try to be a little lighter, a little happier, a little more smiley. I feel when I do this podcast, I just have a lot to say and I kind of get into ranting mode and I just forget to smile. So I will remember, Alex. Um, so today I want to talk about a book actually I recently read. My entire adult life, I have been a fan of Mel Robbins. For those of you who know Mel Robbins, she is an icon. She's a mom of three. She essentially started her businesses when she was in her 40s. And she's someone I look up to a lot. I have read a lot of her books. I've listened to her podcast. I love her vibe. Her down to earth shows up a real person, admits she goes to therapy, does not pretend she's got it all together. She talks about her problems with her kids, with her husband, with herself. And I love it. I am absolutely here for it. I love her vulnerability, her openness, her transparency, her practical tips, really simplifying complex topics. I love it. I want to give my thoughts on the book that she wrote called Let Them Theory. And I in no way am I putting down the book. I thought it was a great book. I think for those of us who are people pleasers, who feel very attached to the idea of not disappointing people, who can take failure personally, who really worry about what people think, it was a great reframe. My opinion of the book is only that it was missing a piece. So that is what I want to talk about today. I loved the book. I love 5 Second Rule. I love all of it. Just want to add to it because if you're reading it or if you've read it and you are feeling still a little bit stuck by the premise that she talks about in the book, I want to just share what has helped me really incorporate the lessons from the Let Them theory. So if you haven't read the book, the premise of the book is having more emotional space, mental health, or this was my take on it, was that there's two pieces. There's the let them and then let me. She gives this example of being on this airplane. And a guy starts coughing, coughing, coughing. He's not covering his face as he's coughing. She's stuck on this airplane. And she tells the guy, like, please cover your mouth if you're going to cough. And he says, sure, and didn't. And so she starts stressing out, right? She starts spinning out and she's like, oh my gosh, this is so rude. What is he doing? Who doesn't cover their face on an airplane? These may be my words, but that was just the vibe of it, right? And she said, okay, I can't control if this guy is coughing. I can't control what he does. Okay, I'm going to let him cough on the plane and I'm going to let me make a different choice. So I'm going to cover my face. I'm going to put in my headphones. I'm going to read. I'm going to work. I'm going to distract myself from this situation. So she talks about this premise of a let them, like your friends want to go on vacation without you, let them. Let me distract myself by going to work in my garden. Let me think about all the happy memories I had thinking about the times I did go on vacation with these friends. And let me, and it's just she talks about these two steps to kind of help clear out the mental narrative, right? And I agree with a lot of that. I do agree. Her books are always well researched. She does so much legwork, which I always respect about her books. I feel like as a trauma-informed guide, as someone who's been working in the trauma for my own self, therapists, resources, courses, books, treatment strategies, somatic healing, who's been in that world for a long, long time, I feel it's just one piece that got missed, right? And she gives this example in her book of her son was going to his grad and he hadn't planned, they were supposed to have planned this grad dinner. And her son hadn't planned it. And she starts freaking out. She's all in his case. Why haven't you planned this? What are you doing? Your sister's planned it well in advance. And she starts thinking about how to plan it. She's criticizing his ideas. She's totally just like not honoring that he hadn't planned anything. And she starts like helicopter parenting her 18-year-old child about booking this restaurant. And then they made a choice of where he and his friends wanted to go. And she was like, no, and that's a bad idea. And she had to kind of catch herself to stop controlling the situation. So her let them was let them go to this restaurant, right? Let me turn off my phone and stop trying to find other restaurants. Let them do this, right? It's his grad, it's his night. If he wants to go to this taco place, and again, like, forgive me if I'm totally just going off the top of my head. I read the book a while ago. Go for it, right? I'm not going to get involved. So that is the scenario I'm going to use, this grad story, right? Because I have kids, I have 3 kids, I have a son going to grad. I'm totally related to this scenario, right? The question I want to suggest is, okay, let them go to this taco place instead of going to an actual restaurant that would fit all of them. Let me turn off my phone and stop controlling what all these teenagers are going to go eat or what they should go eat. And then I would say the next step would be look inside. Why does this bother me? Why does it bother me so much that my son had not planned his grad dinner? Why did that drive me crazy that his sisters had, he hadn't, and now I'm spinning out trying to control this? And to me, I feel that step number 3 is really the key to freedom, because the let them do it, you can like let your son go to this tiny taco place, right? And be like, oh, it's too small. And you're like white knuckling this decision, right? Like, the food's not that good. It's really small. It's so far away. Like, what a stupid choice. Like, so you can let them do it, but it doesn't mean you're going to be calm about it. They'll let me be like, okay, I'm going to let you do it. I'm going to let you do it. But it doesn't necessarily mean there's going to be any peace in it. What I'm suggesting with this look inside piece is to identify, why does this trigger you? Okay. So let's use this scenario. And I'm just going to be doing this off the top of my head. Okay. I am not a therapist. I am not a psychoanalyst. I am not a counselor. This is just me coming from how I do the deep dive. Okay. How I identify the source of the trigger. So let's just say, okay, my son wants to go to this taco place on the other side of town. It's so small. All of his friends aren't even going to fit there. The food's not that good. It's super messy. These girls are wearing these gowns. What a dumb idea, right? I start stressing out. Why am I stressing out? Okay. And then I like to use this process called 5 whys. So we go 5 whys down. Okay. So why does this bother me? It bothers me that he didn't put more. I'm just going to make this up. Okay. I have no idea what she thought. Okay. I'm just going to make this up off the top of my head. Okay. Why does it bother me that Oakley hadn't planned his grad? That's her son. So it bothers me because this is a really special night and he should have organized this better so that he can have lots of memories. Okay, well, why does it bother me that he's not taking this memory making night seriously? It could be like, I've spent a lot of money on this outfit, on this limo, on getting him through this private school, that he should be more grateful and taking this more seriously. Let me see. What else would you say? So he should be taking this more seriously. I put a lot of money into his education. I don't know what she thought. This is just my scenario, right? Okay, number 3. Why does it bother you? Third why. Why does it bother me that I think he's not taking his education seriously? Okay, we moved to this new town for his school. I had to give up my entire life for him so that he could go and get this education. I feel resentful that my son is not really appreciating all the sacrifices I had to make for him by moving to this new place and now he doesn't even care. He's just going to go for tacos. He's not actually showing me the respect of what all the sacrifices I made, right? Okay, why does it bother you that you had to give up all these things to support your son's education? Well, it bothers me because I had this great life going on in Boston. I had a career. I had all my family. I had my kids. I had my memories. I had our house. I had all these things. And I feel really, really sad that I miss living in Boston. I feel sad that I gave it up for my son's education. Okay, so now we're getting closer, right? Number 5. Okay, why do you feel sad? Okay, these were the places where I raised my kids. This is where our memories are. I feel really, really sad that my son is graduating and now I'm not going to have as many memories with him like I did in Boston. And if you see what I did there, so she's not mad about her son not taking responsibility to go for tacos. She's feeling really sad that her son is graduating and she's not going to have as many memories with him. And again, this is just totally like bullshit situation. I don't know, right? So the problem is not tacos or bad planning. The problem is she's really sad. She's scared. And then once you know that, once you get to the root of what the actual pain is and what the trigger is, you can heal that, right? I have 3 teenage kids as well. I have a son who's 19 who is like almost never home. I miss him. I have a son who's 18 and he's going to university next year. He wants to live on campus. That's going to be 2 out of 3 gone. I feel anxious thinking about that because I miss my babies. I am going to miss my babies. And so when I feel the same way, when I feel sad about my kids growing up and leaving and they're not going to be here and I'm not going to see them, hear their voices. It's like, okay, my response is not to be more controlling. When I know that sadness and being lethargic or being sentimental or anticipating missing them, when I know that that's the problem, I can fix that. And it has nothing to do with them. I am feeling sad. I'm feeling worried. I'm feeling disconnected. I'm catastrophizing that my kid's going to leave and never going to see me again. And that's the end of our relationship, that he's now moving out and my time with my babies is done. And that's not true, right? But that's the fear. That's the root of it, that I am going to miss my kids. So now we're like, okay, so the fear, the bottom is missing the kids. What do we do? How do we heal that in ourselves? And it could be a million things, right? It could be, you know what? Instead of me making my identity about my kids as they're growing up, I am going to invest in other things that make me happy. I'm going to go take a dance class. I'm going to learn a new hobby. I'm going to make some new friends. I'm going to write a book. I'm going to support my kids in fulfilling their dreams, whatever they want to do. And I'm going to find ways to make me happy. I'm going to find ways to enjoy this new freedom. Oh my God, 2 out of 3 kids, like doing their own thing. Damn, I have so much time. I'm not like driving people and making food and I don't have to think about, all these different things of who's where, really like 2 out of 3 kids, my life, my time just frees up. Right. And so how do we focus on fixing the source? Because I technically, if we go back to her scenario of Oakley's grad, Mel Robbins' son's Oakley's grad, she's probably white knuckling, not controlling this dinner. The probable reason is she's kind of a control freak. I don't know if that's true, but like in the book, it sounds like she's kind of a control freak. It's her baby. She's like overstepping. So my questions to her would be, okay, instead of white knuckling this choice and getting through this and, or let them, let's fix the root. Why does being so controlling, how does that help you? How does that serve you? What's the payoff in your life for being so controlling? So maybe her being so controlling, it gives her her sense of control, right? Maybe she was raised in a situation that was really out of control. Maybe like me, I know for me, I had a lot of control issues, being controlling and micromanaging things because I grew up in a situation that was so out of control. We have a bipolar parent. You don't know which way is up. Everything's just upside down all the time. And so when I had my own family, I was very like, ooh, this is how we do it. And so, but then I had to unlearn that. 3 kids will beat that out of you pretty quickly. But we look at the source. Okay, maybe I'm so controlling because I was raised in a very out of control environment. And so for my nervous system to feel in control, to feel safe, everything had to be done my way, right? And do you see what I'm saying? There's levels, right? Managing the symptom doesn't heal you. Understanding why heals you. So I'll give another example. I I have a partner, amor, te amo. I have a partner that when I met him was very, very triggered anytime I would make a reference to talking about an ex-boyfriend or my ex-husband. And he would get incredibly irritated by this. And I was just so confused. I was like, why is this so angering to you? Like, why is this so triggering? And so we tried certain things like, okay, we're not going to talk about it. We're not going to bring it up. I'm not going to ever reference to an experience in my past so that it wouldn't trigger him, right? So this is I'm going to let him have these feelings. My let me is we're just going to not talk about it. But no one is healed in that scenario. We're managing these symptoms of not talking about the exes, right? So after years together now, it's like now we're in a place where it's not a thing. But before the conversation was like, why does this bother you? Why is this so triggering, so painful to you when it ever comes up in conversation? If someone else mentions a name of somebody, it's like, because for him, he saw it as a potential threat. They may come back. If I'm talking about them, They're obviously on my mind. I'm going to start thinking about the fact that I was with them or that I miss them or that I want to be with them. And so just having the word, having the name, having the conversation in his mind meant I was thinking about them missing them, wanting to be with an ex, which to me is ridiculous. I'm like, you're an ex, you're an ex. There's a reason you're an ex. But once we figured out, okay, the word, the name coming up to him, we had to break that pattern that the name meant I was thinking about them missing them, or that I would be, by thinking about them, I would start missing them and want to be with them instead. Okay. But what if that's not true? What if it's just a chapter of my life? What if I'm so much happier now with my current partner than I ever was with an ex, right? What about that? What if it's just something that happened? Like, what if it's just a part of my life, a chapter of my life? There's no sort of emotional connection to it anymore, just someone who was there. There's no threat. So we really worked on that. We really worked on that together. Okay, there's no threat. It's safe. It's okay. Me talking about an ex honestly is more of a turn off than a turn on. Like when I think about it, I'm like, right. But to him, he thought it was good, a good reaction. So, but not talking about it didn't fix anything. It didn't heal him and it stressed me out. So do you see what I'm saying? We need to go look inside. Step 3, inside, look inside. Where does this come from? Why is this painful? What pain needs to be healed in me so that this doesn't bug me? Because we can spend our entire lives managing symptoms. Like, don't say that to me. Don't talk about that with me. We have all these rules for people around us, right? It doesn't set us free. We can't live if everything around us triggers us. We have to look at, why does this bother me? What is the 5 whys of this? Work it down. Sometimes the way that I do this is I use AI tools. So I have I use Claude for AI and I'll put in, hey, I am being super triggered by this. Help me do the 5 whys on this. And we go through it together. Boom, 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 boom. And it feeds it back to me and it gives me incredible insights into things I would never have thought about that. I would never have thought about that. And it helps me just like, oh my God, I am sad because I don't want my son to leave. I'm controlling because I'm afraid of my son leaving and I'm going to miss him, right? So when you think about that, you see it all. It's all in perspective. And you're like, okay, what can I do to heal this pain that doesn't involve anyone else? It's me. It's inside me, right? So I hope this was helpful. This is something I use all the time, all the time. I'm constantly, when I'm triggered by something or I notice something is feeling like an emotional response in my body, or not emotional, a physical response in my body. And I'm like, I feel it, pressure rising, stomach dropping, whatever it is. I'm always going to look at it and see if I can figure out what's the source and then get busy healing the source of it so that the roots make the fruits, right? So if I can heal those roots, the fruits are going to be different. What about you? How about you? How do you heal this? What do you do? What's your process when you're triggered? How do you not just manage your symptoms, but actually understand why and heal from the place of the root? I can't wait to hear. I'll wait to hear from you. Leave a comment. Talk soon.